What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of NahLo Kicking Knowledge. I got my main man Garth here with me. So y'all know we on NahLo Kicking Knowledge, and this is where we giving love to the music, the entertainment, the sports, and all of that. So this is my right hand man, and we talk about all of that. So we bringing that live to y'all. So G, introduce yourself. Yeah. Talk to the people.
Yeah, what's up, world? My name's Garth, also known as Bling. Either way, like NahLo said, we're always chopping it up.
And this is Zodiac based channel, so let them know you're Zodiac son.
Okay, bet. I'm a Capricorn.
He's a Capricorn. Go. You know what I'm saying? Viz is man, well skilled and all of that. And because my man and my Astro fam knows we know a lot of it. So for those of you curious, it's Capricorn sun, Libra moon. All right. So we're going to get into it, talk about any and everything that's been going on. So, what I heard about today? I heard about them comparing Drake to Michael Jackson and the Beatles at this height of his career, which I must say, I understand the comparison. But you know how our world goes. Everybody starts, but one thing I try to do out here, I try to be as balanced as possible. So okay. I want to hear your opinion, but I'm gonna play both sides.
Drake and Michael Jackson should never be mentioned in the same sentence.
Which is correct. Which is just like right.
I think that was just a screen grabber for attention. That was a clout chase move.
No, well, they actually compared some numbers. So when we look at the numbers,
we're talking numbers.
We're talking. That's the basis of the argument started with numbers. It started with I think Drake has approached 200 million records sold.
Records.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna compare it to like one Michael Jackson record that sold like 70 million. It's still not possible.
So no, I think it's, if he hasn't officially passed him, he will pass him. But
okay, all right.
That's all right. That's all right. No, records are meant to be broken.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But I think two things, right?
Right.
We're out of in the past 10 years, Drake in it. Those 15-year-olds, that's 25. Those 10-year-olds, that's 20.
Right.
They're the ones who be like, yeah, of course. Drake is. That's the only thing I know is Drake. Hov have never been mentioned in the same sentence.
This is true, but you know why? You know why?
Drake
crossover appeal.
Yeah, but Drake can be mentioned in Hov's sentence. How are you gonna skip or go to the real gold?
I dig it.
That's one. And I think it's a generation that's causing a disconnect, which the same generation is what caused the disconnect with the sales numbers. Granted, we're talking about 80s, 90s, people buying this amount of records. Right. Granted, it's over a period of time too. So Michael do have that over Drake. He's been selling over decades. But if Michael had came out now, like you're talking about when it's all about singles, when it's all about streaming numbers, like his streaming numbers couldn't equate.
Well, all right, this is what I say. The nature in life, I think, is to always look at the next best thing or the thing of the moment. So okay. At some point when Mike was doing this thing, I think it was Elvis, right? It's like we're passing them Elvis, we're breaking Elvis records. So at some point in time, there's gonna be somebody who's like, oh no, this, that, and the third. But ultimately, it goes and does what it does. So the argument, I don't feel like it's a argument that shouldn't be had, but I do like your point about why didn't we do this with Jay? And then this is why I think so. I think because Drake has a different appeal, and it could be because there's a few more R&B records, the diversification, right? It's different feels.
And maybe numbers. Because
right,
not to cut you,
yeah,
but with, as you were saying, with the whole numbers thing being that it was started with numbers, being that Drake is dominating numbers like LeBron is right now,
right.
There's nobody else to stack him up against numbers wise. So that's why maybe they'll skip over Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, right,
You know what I mean?
right, because
that's why they'll skip, because if he already passed the Beatles, who else are you gonna compare him with numbers wise?
right,
It'll be Michael.
of
And I
course,
guess that's the only way I will allow that sentence. However, I mean, you gotta remember, people was dying, literally like passing out by
right.
Michael just waving his
Okay,
hand.
this brings me to this point. It brings me to this point where I think, you know, I think even Drake knows, like, yeah, it's nice to be mentioned, but Mike is in rarefied air. I want to make these points. So we know he's a child performer. And I always say this about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, similar to someone like Beyonce Knowles, they didn't have any other title in this world other than musician. It was just,
that's true. Okay.
yes. So
That's true.
right. And then when we mentioned those two, the amount of work put into the craft, not just I'm going in the studio recording. No, I'm putting on a show.
That's right. That's
I
right.
am an
That's right.
entertainer. Right.
That's right.
So with that, you have 50 years worth of material from Michael, an actual record that I don't think can be touched, because it's top five records in 5 different decades.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's hard to ever beat those numbers though. Okay.
So then the next thing, and this is, I think, like, people have to really just do their research and humble themselves. Michael's tours, the Bad Tour, starting with the Bad Tour, those are world tours. Like, I'm thinking continents here.
Real world tours, like
real world tour. That can't,
not world champion of the US, world tours, like for real.
People fainting in different parts of it. Was amazing. We all witnessed it. So as you said, the kids won't know because they didn't see. But if you go and look and just try to hold the moment, you're gonna see some amazing things there.
Yeah, like you thought this guy had like superpowers or something. Like,
right.
It was ridiculous.
Right. And then, you know, the little like the Michael had an album, basically Moonwalker was like a visual album. This was amazing. It's like 86.
Yeah. He revolutionized too.
Right. So what we see here is, because we can't even say it's a copy because it doesn't even come close. It's still 2 different entities. Really the same. So the comparisons are right, but realistically,
solely on numbers. So I guess that's what it is. and I think the numbers is solely on the fact that he's been beating the Beatles records.
Right.
So the only other person you could really compare him to, as far as, you know, artists of the decade or something, or, you know, best artists, would be like Michael.
That's it.
I understand that, but people can't just, you know, I mean, I guess I understand the clickbait.
Right. So let me get, while you're here, you know, I reviewed the album on the channel. I reviewed both Kanye and Drake. I gave Drake a 7 and I gave Donda an 8. You know, so what are your thoughts on those?
At one point I used to be biased, or of course, because I'm a Ye fan. I'm a Ye fan first. I'm a Ye fan first. Ye did it first. I can't deny Drake's dominance, but we're talking about solely the albums. Now, I respect Kanye's artistic direction. A lot of people don't, because a lot of people was looking into it for a hip hop album. This is kind of a gospel hip hop album. You got to understand his transition and where he is, and then the content that comes out. Not what you expect. and then you can, you know, judge the content. For that, I give 𝐥𝐤 a 7.5.
Okay.
7.5. For Drake, there's a few tracks that you can see he I think he put the emphasis on, like, all right, this gotta, you know. And there were other tracks that sound like, yo, let's throw this on an album.
Okay.
Which is what I heard a lot of, I think why I heard a lot of people said he figured out a formula and he stick to it.
Stick to it.
And I mean, nothing is wrong with that either, because if you figured out your formula, which a lot of people still haven't, you know, that's why they haven't become like great. So same thing as Drake, you know, who he is, what he's delivering, and his perspective. I give Drake a 7.
Okay, so a 7 to a 7.5. You know, I saw some 6s out there, you know. For Drake, you know, okay. Actually, others giving it like an other equivalent, something lesser than that. I overall like a disconnect. They're saying in the content, which is clear. Yeah. I would say this. I would say that the album has grown. It's been a couple weeks and it's a good listen, which I've always had my theory about Sonics runs the whole thing anyway. So it's just like Jay got to a point, I think it was on the Blueprint, where you get the best production money could buy. Like you're there.
Right. That's right.
So therefore, artist, you just got to switch it up. And then
I do remember. I mean, I do remember. If I want to be fair, I do remember Jay putting out, what was it? That's that album with Change Clothes on it, and a lot of people was like, I
think Change Clothes was I think that was the Black album.
That's a Black. Nah, yeah, which one came after that?
So Black Album had been a retirement, and then the comeback was Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people was like,
Yeah, when they brought it down was fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people was like,
Right.
So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a Kingdom Come, where to me it's like, you know the formula, you know what it is, you know certain songs, you know the in the club, the girls want to hear the
elements. All the elements.
You know, and the rest of them are just fillers.
It's just a matter of the state of music, because that's the thing about Drake. I'm doing me, but I'm also vibing off of what's going on out here. So
exactly, which is it's a relaxed flow right now. It's not. Right. It's not too hype. Which he delivered.
Yeah,
it's not gonna go down as one of his best, but he delivered.
Man,
what I did here,
it's gonna age well, bro.
What I did here,
some of the songs are gonna age well.
What I did here is 𝐤𝐤's album, like the originals. Like a few of the artists came out saying the originals were like bangers.
Which is gonna have
eventually. They're gonna come out. They're gonna come out.
Exactly. So it's so crazy. It's so crazy, man.
I think a lot of people was just more so caught up in the verses aspect of it than really like, this album is for this.
Right.
𝐤𝐤's album wasn't necessarily for that, even though he was doing all the hype. Like,
man,
he's still going through his Christianity or whatever it is. Like, it's gonna be a gospel.
We gotta do one day. We gotta just like go look back at like that 50 versus 𝐤𝐤 day. That was crazy, man.
That was a classic day. That was a classic day. And that was a passing of the torch.
One was backing down.
Yeah,
right. There was, and you want to know something though, 2G? I feel like, seriously though, social media has created some serious biases out here, because that was like a purer head-to-head. It's like we're literally gonna see what's going on out here.
And we got 2 great albums out of it.
We got 2 great albums out of it.
You know what I mean?
This was
in this case.
Oh, you want to know why I really was saying that, y'all? I was saying that because I feel like there are people out there who are just Drake stans that were unable to hear the greatness of Donda because of their bias.
And I think that's a lot of what's going on. Like you said, like you have the Bards, you have the Beyonces, or you know, whatever the case is. I mean, of course, everybody's gonna be biased. Everybody got their favorite artists. I got my favorite artists, but back then it was still harder to still hate on another artist, because yeah, I mean, social media wasn't there to feed, I guess, the hype. So you was really able to sit down without the noise saying that, yo, Donda's crap, Donda's crap. You haven't listened to it yet. You know what I mean?
So you know, I tell people I strive to do that. Like I was talking about it, that the relationship that I developed with like listening to music with, I try to maintain that, because it's when now, like for example, I know music comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go on social media before I hear the music.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna, everyone's like, you know,
it's gonna throw it.
And it just so happened that like I'm so glad that I did this. The Sue song of Drake's joint.
Okay,
TSU.
TSU, yeah.
That's one of the first ones when I went on. Oh, this is a classic. Oh, this person, he went crazy. And I was like, wait a minute.
I couldn't catch that one. I couldn't catch it.
I don't know, but that's the perfect example. There's gonna be someone who sees that.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, I do the same thing with that. I do that a lot with movies per se. Like, if I know something's coming out, like I'm not watching no previews, no nothing. I skip over it. Just like with shows, Power is on, I skip over it. I don't want to hear you know what I mean?
I don't
want to hear that, because that influence you before you even start listening to the music and be like, yo, everybody been saying it's crap. I hope it's not crap.
And then it ultimately does. So like,
because you're already listening for the wrong shit.
Yes. And that's another, that's another thing. But, on another note,